Hey everyone, Caleb with Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with an important update basically, and that guys, it's a bit of a bolo as well. It's keep an eye out for books about military units. I find that books from probably World War II, this one's from Korea, this one's from Korea. I think this one was as well. But yeah, keep an eye out for books from military units from history. So guys, some of these books can be really incredibly valuable. It's funny, I was actually planning on making this video like a couple weeks from now potentially, because I mean I got a lot of other things going on, and I actually had to make this video now because this book here, the 1st Cavalry Division, actually sold. And guys, the reason why you want to keep an eye out for military units, their books, is because the amount of people that look for these books, it is going to be a smaller number of people. A lot of people that are interested in the Korean War are going to be looking for a book about the Korean War. They're going to look for a textbook like this thick. The people that look for these specific books, since there are so few of them, there usually are a whole lot less of these books that were even made. That's why less people are looking for it, because a lot of the times, some of these books, they were only made for the members of the unit or the family members of the people who were in this military unit. That is something that you see quite often. I can't remember for sure. Let me check this book right now. So this is the 38th Seabees. The Seabees, guys, that's I recommend looking them up. They are a very interesting unit. But the Seabees one, I believe this actually, the guy must have been related to someone or been someone with the Seabees. You got fun little stuff there. I don't want to show you guys too long because privacy for them and whatnot, but yeah, I like to normally, when I find things like this, a lot of these things, they will have like the autographs page filled out of everyone, and they like wrote down all the different friends, had their friends sign their names. Really cool stuff with all that. There's a lot of really cool things, and oftentimes you'll have the little leaflets of when these units actually came back and met up together again, like after the war. They all, like a lot of these will meet up annually or at least a few years. That's something that you see that's pretty common, and every now and then, like say 20 years after the war or something, they will actually get a whole book put together, and that book, let me just show you guys again, that book will have a whole bunch of just fun little either cartoons or actual photos of the members of the unit and the things that they did, and again more cartoons and fun facts and all these sorts of things. A lot of these units will have that sort of stuff in these books. It's basically a yearbook for the military people, and if you guys have been in book selling for a long time, you know that some yearbooks can be worth a good amount of money. Like, yeah, only like 50 people are going to buy the yearbook because there's only like 50 people in the yearbook, but those 50 people, if they don't have their yearbook anymore, they might still want it, or their kids might want it or something like that, and they want to see what they looked like in high school, stuff like that. So because of that, a lot of these books can be worth a lot more money because, again, these books are a lot more rare. Yes, you're not going to have as many people buying them, but because these books are so rare, you can command a higher premium on them. So this Cavalry book, guys, again, this one already sold. I think I sold it for $20, so not a ton of money, but it's not in great shape. The last few pages, guys, are loose. It's got some scribbling on it. It's definitely not in the best shape. I mean, there's a loose page for you guys. So obviously I wasn't going to ask too much for this one. But the guy who bought this book, guys, his YouTube, sorry, not YouTube, his eBay account name was something about like cavalry, like military cavalry, and his bio for his eBay thing was like, yeah, I buy everything that's the cavalry or the military railroad things from, like, you know, how they used to have the Union soldiers on the railroads in the 1800s. They were basically doing that. That was sort of that. So that's the kind of books that guy goes after, and it's really funny because it's like, huh, that's exactly what I wanted to say in the video, is there's people that look for just those specific things, because, I mean, some people just love the history, they love the cavalry units, they love all that, and it's funny because I was planning on saying that in the video, and then this book went and sold last night, and I was like, or maybe it was this morning, I was just like, oh, now I gotta make this video right now, or else I'm not gonna have this book for it, because I was planning on having these two books for this video. Again, let me do another shot. There we go. These two books for you guys. So yeah, these two books, again, very cool books. They both are on military units. This one's the 1st Cavalry unit. This one is the 38th Seabees, so it's called the 38th Saga. So yeah, and I believe both of them are in the Korean War. Again, very cool books. There's a good chance that the guy who these came from was a veteran from Korea. Based on all the books that I got from him, he's either a veteran from World War II or from Korea. He'd be a little bit old to do Korea, and he could be a little bit young to do World War II, so it's somewhere in there, but based on all the things that I have of him, this guy was a veteran, so it is sort of cool. Based on what we had in the... Oh man, which one was it? Oh yeah, in the 38th, based on this little leaflet, I'm leaning towards this guy might have been a CB. Based on all the other books that I have from him, I would say that's probably most likely. So it's sort of cool also, when you go to a lot of these estate sales, you can sort of piece together someone's life, the stuff they did, all that sort of stuff. And for me, finding out that this guy was a CB is actually a little bit cooler, because some of my family members way back when, they actually were CBs, I believe in World War II. And that was down in the Pacific, I think, that they were serving for that one. So it is sort of cool. It's like a little bit of a touchstone connection. It's like, hey, that's like this, and da-da-da-da-da. So I always think that's fun as well, with all that. And my family, we haven't been in America the longest. 1800s is when most of us came over, before most of Europe just decided to go crazy. We came to America, we escaped, we were like, no, forget you guys are nuts. So I just think that's always funny as well. But with all that said and done though, guys, once again, I just want to say there's a lot of money that you can make with these military unit books. Of course, not all of them are going to be worth a ton. Some of them they do print a ton of. So for instance, I have a nonfiction sort of biographical book, it's B-17s over Berlin. I want to say it's of the 8th Bombing Group just in general. That is a book that I have that was a book sort of like these, but it was like a thick actual book meant for reading. That one is actually not worth a ton. They printed a ton of those, and they were made to be read by the broader populace. The 8th Bombing Group guys, that was during World War II. They kicked a lot of German booty, and they did a great stinking job. Something I actually personally enjoy about the 8th Bombing Group in World War II, I know we're going on a little history rant, but something I enjoy about that is, so in World War II, there was the entire concept of total war, and total war means you go out and kill as many civilians as you can, in addition to all the military units, all the factories, all the other things, but the point is to try to kill as many people as possible. So something that I don't mean to throw shade, but I am going to be throwing shade here. Something that the British would be doing is they would do night bombing raids, and they would just bomb entire cities. So they had Operation Gomorrah, and you guys, if you guys know the Bible, you know that Sodom and Gomorrah, they were basically bombed by God with fire and brimstone until they were gone. And that was actually the British's goal with a lot of these towns that they would bomb. They wanted to wipe the towns off the face of the earth. They wanted no survivors. They wanted it to just be a pile of ash. And something that people have done research on since then is they've actually done a lot of research on like how people's brains works, all that sort of stuff, and they found that total war, bombing civilians, actually does the exact opposite of what you would expect it to do in a lot of cases. It doesn't make the civilian population want to surrender, it makes them actually want to fight more. So that's what you see actually right now in Eastern Europe. You see a lot of people who have their families getting bombed, their cities getting bombed. They actually want to fight more because of all that. And that's what you had in World War II as well. When these German cities were getting bombed, they were not thinking, oh no, I'm scared of the British, we should give up. It was, those British, they did bleep, 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 and I'm going to beat them up because they ruined my life. So that's something that you sort of see. And with that said, that's what the British did. The 8th Bombing Group, as part of the United States plan, we didn't bomb during the night to try to destroy entire cities. We actually bombed during the day, which is much, much, much more dangerous because the bad guys can see you and shoot at you, whereas night you just come in and go and everyone's like, what happened? You just have to have the searchlights to be able to see the bombers that way. But during the day, you don't need the searchlights because you can see them, so they suffer very heavy losses. But the reason why they did it at daytime was, first off, around-the-clock bombing, which sort of was to damage morale, but also because they could actually see targets. So they would go out and be like, okay, we're going to bomb this railroad facility, we're going to bomb this airport, we're going to bomb this factory, this factory, this factory, we're going to bomb the oil fields, all that sort of stuff. So that's what you would see in a lot of the missions that the 8th Bombing Group did. So all that being said, some of these books, guys, they will be like more of a broad population thing that you're supposed to read. And I know I just nerded out. Yes, I'm a nerd. I like war history. But there's a lot of books like that. Some of them will be very valuable. Some will not be. I find that the ones that are more, I'm going to say coffee table book size, like these bigger ones, that aren't very thick but are just very big, meant to show off the photos, I find those are usually the ones that can be worth more. Whereas the ones that are actual like textbook or just normal, I'm going to say novel size, but it's not a novel, but like just normal trade paperback sort of size or hardcover, I find those normally are not worth as much. But if you guys want to learn history and learn some really cool things, they can definitely be worth reading. And personally, if I found a whole stack of those B-17 over Berlin books, I would list them on my eBay site because I like that book. I think a lot of people should read that book. So there are some books that I list on my site just because I think this is an important book for people to just know about. So that happens sometimes as well. But with all that said and done though, guys, I just want to say one more time, books about military units can be worth really good money. They can be very valuable, so be sure to look out for them. I know that some of you guys only do scanning for Amazon, got the barcode on the back. A lot of these books will not have the scanning. I mean, some of these books don't even have publisher info because it was literally just the veterans from these groups that went together and paid off someone to make them some hardcover books for that one-off reunion event, because that does happen quite often. Those books, it can be very hard to find information for comps on the internet, but oftentimes those books will still be quite valuable because there are other family members who are surviving these people that want them. There are the people who actually served that maybe didn't get the book that want the book, all that sort of stuff. So with all that said and done though, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out one of my other videos, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.